I enjoyed it.
Well, I gotta also say I enjoyed it, P. Shockingly, I expected you to trash it, but
I
think you
trashed
did
Will
get-
in the beginning, so didn't I do that?
well, you did some of that. But at least you came back to your better senses.
Gathered together from the cosmic reaches of the universe, here in this great hall of justice, are the most powerful forces of good ever assembled. Dedicated to truth, justice, and peace for all mankind.
Welcome, ladies and gents. Spinner Rack is in the house. It's me and PD. I don't know what happened to Cal, but we're going to be doing this review on Bright. Okay, this is Will Smith starring vehicle on Netflix. It's considered one of the most expensive movies on Netflix, and let's see what we say about it. Is it good? Is it bad? Should you skip it? Should you watch it? PD, what are your opinions on this?
Well, seemed like it was just a movie. They did a movie, and then when they were going to distribute it, they decided to try Netflix. And I think they've already signed up for a sequel to this. But once it got put out, there was this big thing of saying the movie was terrible, right? They're saying, oh, this is the worst movie of 2017. So I was like, sight unseen, I was like saying, people still doing cop movies and this is like a Men in Black thing? I'm like, what the hell? So this episode actually was going to be, let's pick the new film that we want Will Smith to do, because at my home and with people I went to school with, they feel that I'm a Will Smith hater, that I got issues with Will Smith, that I complained about his acting early on in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, where he would mouth everyone's lines. And he learned on the job, where they say, oh, actors, oh, they can't learn on the job, but Will Smith learned on the job. And then Will Smith gets a personal trainer. My father would say he used steroids, but, get all the muscles, so he's in Bad Boys running around. He's had some, obviously, he did Ali, this, that, and the other. He wasn't my favorite Ali. So that's where people say he has some issues. But I'm saying, I wanted to do this episode and say, let's find something else for him to do. Let's find there's a ton of comic book properties. Let's figure it out. But then I was like, you know what? I haven't seen this thing. Let me watch this on Netflix. What could it hurt? So 2 seconds in, my wife gets a look like, oh, and she's about to run upstairs. I was like, oh no. Yeah, it was a rough start, And then it's like, okay, we got the aliens, we got the police, but they're really playing up stuff we've seen today. And this is the writer that also did, he did the Superman story, Alien, American Alien, something like that, Max Landis. So it's like, okay. But then by the second thing where the guy has the sword.
The wand.
No, he has remember the guy in the street?
Yes.
He has the sword, and the cops are not reacting to this. I was just like, okay, they just made a perimeter where with the aliens, they're going in and they're beating the hell out of them. The first scene was just rough with the fairy and trying to play the fairy dialogue. But then when it got to that scene with the guy with the sword, then it starts to build. Then they see there's something there. There's all these issues and all this stuff and the hint of what happened before. And then, was it Nomi Rapace? She comes in as an elf? She comes in as an elf, and those scenes, which are like, Matrix-like scenes, but she's just so captivating. And the scenes with Will starting to get good, and then that gets really good. And then they find a whole magic thing. We see this creature, we're like, whoa, what is this? They find the wand. So then the other cops come in and they're like, the wand is like getting the big thing of coke and cash and whatnot. So it's like, oh, and all of his peers are like, take out that thing, take the thing out. So it's like, oh, okay, this is getting kind of good. And then it plays out and then it's a chase sort of thing. So from that point, I'm just sort of in the movie and I'm like, this is fun. So it's like, it's on, you got Netflix, and on Netflix, check it out. I enjoyed it a lot. And then when Will is going against the lead elf, which is, Noomi Rapace, those scenes are all incredible. Because they come in, they like start taking our people, and then, the alien, the other thing is just weird because they did something where they fulfilled a prophecy in the movie, where this character is no good, he's not blooded in, they hate him, and they do something to him. But how it plays out fulfills this prophecy in a weird way. And I was like, that's brilliant, because most of the time, if we would have like, if Jesus came back and he was sort of, someone that we decided wasn't the real person, and we saw after 3 days he came back, and it was done a little differently, but it was still 3 days, we'd be like, no, that's not what it was supposed to be. This was like, hey, it's fulfilled. I don't care how it happened, it's fulfilled. And it was like, it was interesting to see that these people believed in that sort of, these aliens believed in this portion of this myth that as long as it happened, they were like, hey, it happened. That happened. So that was very interesting to me, especially that these two characters have been kicked in the face and stomped on like 3 million times. So it was just, we went from me and my wife complaining and saying, has to be the worst movie ever, not sight unseen. It's like, let me see. And I didn't want it to be like, it's not a Broken Wing type of thing where everyone trashed it and I liked it. It was a thing like I was sitting there and it's just like, oh my God, I go out and get my brother now? Oh, okay, we got 25 minutes and come back and watch it. So I enjoyed it.
Well, I gotta also say I enjoyed it, P. Shockingly, I expected you to trash it, but
I trashed Will in the beginning, so didn't I do that?
Well, you did some of that. But you should get back to your better senses. I like this movie because what it basically tried to do Lord of the Rings meet modern day cops, basically.
Yeah, that's a good assessment of it.
You have orcs, you have elves, you have fairies, you have magic in this
I'm
world.
not sold on them doing the fairies.
Right.
So that was kind of...
So the fairies tend to be, it seems to be they like some type of pest, You got gangbangers, you got a cop, and Will Smith is a cop who's actually been shot, and he was shot on duty with a new partner, and his partner tends to be an orc. And orcs in this world are looked down upon. They're not looked highly. They're criminals. And I guess they're trying to make modern day illusions of,
race
relations,
yeah.
exactly. The orcs are wearing, baseball, hockey, or football jerseys, and they play the defensive line for the National Football League. They don't do basketball, basically, because they can't jump high. But they also have their own set of law. They only have their own culture, too, which is pretty interesting, that clan law is above human law, so most of them are not part of the police. So this one dude is breaking the stereotype. He's the first one, and no one in the precinct likes him. So that causes problems there. And also, supposedly he's supposed to capture the bad guy, but the bad guy jumps 7 feet, which everybody knows.
Everyone said they can't. And I was just like, well, how do they know? But yeah, that bit I missed. I didn't pay attention. I didn't catch that. But it's interesting. That leads to what actually happened, and it leads to a storytelling moment later.
Right.
And just like, it's doing all the right things as far as story, as the narrative's supposed to go.
And it connects dots,
Yes.
So something that happened, that happens in the movie comes back and aids them later on.
Yeah.
I mean, even not directly, but indirectly. But the point is that if Star Wars would have done this, Jedi, it would have helped the movie a lot better. But I don't want to go.
Wait a second. What are you talking? You want to be
Star
Star Wars?
I'm not gonna junk it. But yeah, continuing here. I mean, I think one of the big problems with the movie is that
of this movie.
I'll come back to that. So in this world, the elves are rich, they're smart, they have money. Just like in the Lords of the Ring, they're just smart, they're rich, they're super talented, and they're basically going against not only they're rich, they're the friggin' FBI, the magical FBI. They go after any.
No, there's one elf that was FBI and his partner.
Who was like human.
And it was like basically trying to keep the magic part, the bright part, under control.
And so a bright is a person who can handle a magic wand, because normally if any regular person touches it, they're just going to die, and a magic wand, you can do anything with it. You can grant any wish, you can walk, you can do whatever you want to do. And so this is why when this story, like what Petey was saying, in the middle of the story, not in the middle, but like in the beginning of the story, 10 or 15 minutes, you find out about the whole bright, and you find out about the magic wand, and that just changes everything on what's going on. Everybody's against them. They fall in the middle of something. Will Smith and his partner, Jacoby, who is the first orc, already the human police don't like him, and they have to make a decision. He's forced into making decisions that, he sees an orc getting beat down by cops, and Will Smith is saying, "Hey, are you an orc or are you a cop?" You know, basically, if you're a cop, you're gonna just close your eyes and let this happen. And that's what Jacoby does. He just wants to be part of the crew because he's not accepted by orcs. He's unblooded. He has no fangs or whatever. So he's not considered part of the regular orc. So for him, the only thing that could make him a hero is being a cop. Even though there's so much discrimination and there's so much people against him at every turn of the way. Well, once you find out he becomes a hero at the end, I mean, he's a hero. But one thing you got to say about Jacoby from the beginning to the end, he is consistent in his character and that he wants to always do the best. He's always trying to do the right thing. You know, he's not out there to kill. He's not out there to show people up or whatever. He's just trying to do the right thing. And that even involves what he does after Will Smith gets shot. You know, and so I like the story. It was very interesting. They tried a different tech. I don't know if this is everybody's cup of tea, but for me, as a sci-fi, fantasy, superhero, comic book lover, this is definitely something down my thing. And I think it was successful in that. I don't understand the criticisms. You know, I think people want to criticize because they want to criticize, but some of it I think is unfounded.
Well, it's almost saying that. Well, the thing is that it also has the director of Suicide Squad, and it has a name, semi-name writer, but it's like it looks too much like a cop movie, and we haven't seen sort of cop movies be successful, but we see when they do sort of like Shades of Blue with Jennifer Lopez, when they do sort of cops that have some sort of seedy backgrounds, those sort of work today. Like the cop movie,
like Training Day.
Yeah, that's what it is. The cop movie is sort of switched from being upstanding guys that will, do right, even if it's Beverly Hills Cop, will sort of, they'll have a moral high ground that they go to. Whereas now it's like, we haven't seen, like, it used to be the fallback for comedians, and that's really the problem with cop movies, that it's like, okay, we got Billy Crystal's a cop, Eddie Murphy's a cop, and it's just like, it'll be the default for, okay, Chappelle, you're famous. You're a cop right now. And it's like, hey, Adam 12, like, you just want to have those moments as like an upstanding guy. And it's like, it's sort of, not to say that ran its course, but it was just like the easy way. I mean, that's what one of the jokes that was on the Chappelle show behind the scenes. They were like, hey, Mos Def and Chappelle, Hollywood just called. They want you to play cops, that sort of thing. So that's where it's not because of anything that's going on outside. It's just it was just a default movie. Whoever became famous is like, put him in a cop thing. And I think there's a comedian, Russell Peters, he does it because he's like a Canadian Mountie, but he messes up and it leads to this longer story. It's on Netflix also. It's the Indian Detective.
So one of the big things happening here, the reason why this one, along with giving it a lot of power, is that the evil set of elves, which is Rapace, she is an Inferni. There are different evil elves, and these elves are basically trying to bring back the Dark Lord, like Sauron. So
there's something that they hinted about, something bigger than the rest of them.
So I mean, you see the magic in the world, and again, the world building. It seems very plausible. This kind of reminds me of that show, Was it Alienation?
Alienation, yes.
Where the aliens came from outer space and they landed on Earth.
And they were already integrated, and there was animosity between the
human cop and so it works on that level. In fact, the alien looks a lot like him. You know what I'm trying to say? So right?
Yeah. This one is colored just like in the Lord of the Rings. The other one had a bigger head, and they had like ruffles around there, so it was like you had hair, but it was like a helmet that was seeped onto your head.
So I mean, it's a great.
But Alienation did nothing for me.
Well, I kind of like Alienation. So, but
you liked that, and you liked the TV show too, didn't you?
I liked it.
You watched it. You just like, I don't have any sci-fi. I just need to watch some sci-fi.
Well, back then there wasn't that many options, So you watch what you watch, So you like what you like. So,
okay.
It's but to me, the story also between Will Smith and the main and Jacoby, the alien, was pretty good. It was a good buddy movie. Will Smith, naturally is the hero. I mean, he's taking his character. What's his name of his character? Deadshot? I mean, he's Deadshot in this show. I'll tell you that for sure.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I wanted to do a thing where we go through different things that Will could do, because I think This one is just it's just a slam. You know, it's one of the slam jobs by Hollywood, and it could be like too negative sentiment toward the cops. Even though they had the cop that they called to help them out,
Right.
he was like
We had 5 kids and they killed.
No,
Okay?
that me and
Come
my
on,
wife
man.
were upset with that.
Yo,
but he
that's
comes
crazy.
through. He's upstanding.
Upstanding
He's
cop.
good, and it's like not that guy.
I know what you're saying, not that guy, please, not that guy.
He's like, take out Margaret Cho, but don't take out this guy.
You know, that's what they were saying when I was watching the movie. They were like, yo, that's Margaret Cho.
It is Margaret.
I said, no, that can't be
Margaret
Margaret
Cho.
Cho. Margaret
Listen.
Cho's funny.
She was funny when she like, go out there and take care of that orc now. Like, we need you.
So, but I mean, we continue. So my little problems with this program was a couple. I don't think it should have been a TVMA movie. Okay, I know Defenders and Punisher. There's a lot of blood, but the cussing and the nudity. It doesn't bother me. But I think you reduce the audience that you possibly can have by doing some of those elements.
No, but then they can overtime. Like, this is the thing. Like, if you look at the movie theaters right now, only thing that's out really is like Star Wars. I was looking online because I've been home. I was like, I can't go see like Justice League or something else. Like, what?
They took over all the theaters.
Why do they have just this one movie? And it's like, I gotta see the 2 theaters with Star Wars. And it's
Yeah.
like, it would have fell flat because it's been like, what is this movie? Like, what is this? It's like, this is like 80s, some sort of 80s or 90s sort of alien nation thing.
Okay.
Forget it. No, why would we do that? So it's like,
But on Netflix, it works. You're saying.
I say that then they have a chance to do another one over time. They're saying that, because I think Hollywood Reporter was trying to say that they said it made like 11 million views over the weekend or the week. And it's
Wow,
like,
that's
but
pretty
they're
good.
saying, but being panned at the same time. And it's like, but if you're watching the whole thing, it doesn't make any sense to go around and then like, I'm watching it so I can write my notes down. It's like you should be watch and what's the thing on the watch and turn, because that's basically you're not interested or you just want to join in and pile on. And it's like, I don't know.
But I don't know how
We
true
can
that
pile on what's that thing?
But I don't know how true it is with the Hollywood Reporter, because the only people who get the numbers is Netflix.
Yes.
You know what I'm trying to say? And they are very sparse releasing this information.
And I think they should keep
know,
their
so
side of the numbers.
If it comes out next year, well, we know that's not necessarily was not true. Because I mean, again, this is a pretty expensive movie. They took it on and they put it out. But I think if they tooled a couple of those little things, that's okay. And of course, like what PD's saying, there's an opening at the end. They did one thing, like there's a conclusion to this story, but there's more that could happen afterwards.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so you can watch the story as a standalone, and if there's more, then that's not bad. And there's a prophecy involved here, and the prophecy involves both Will Smith and his orc sidekick, Jacoby, and it's basically fulfilled. So if you just watch that, it's okay. But the possibility, there's a promise for there to be more. I hope there's more. I think the possibility is there. And they just tool up a couple of things and don't kill guys who have 5 kids for the love of God. You know what I'm trying to say? I mean, shocker that it is,
Yeah, well, if you also looked at, since it's his, same guys involved in Suicide Squad, they're getting a sequel. It doesn't matter whether it's, the stuff is being panned. You got all these talent that are already put together. So it's like, as far as Hollywood, this means like it's an easy fit to do another movie and say, this is what it is, try to figure, I don't know. It's tough because then you also have Bad Boys 3, and that pushes us back into doing another cop movie. So it's just like, come on.
Yeah, but there's more. This is not going to be the regular cop movie because it's not.
This
the regular
one is, but
procedure.
he's already doing it, and they're already sort of slamming him for doing another cop sci-fi like Men in Black, but on the streets of L.A., like East L.A. Men in Black sort
What
of
show is
thing.
this?
No, I'm saying, he was in Men in Black, right?
Yeah, I know, but you're saying he's doing the second version?
No, I'm saying that he's doing Bad Boys, so doing another cop thing, and then they're probably going to be like, oh, he just needs the movie
We
to
watched
make money.
Arnold Schwarzenegger in tons of movies. We watch.
We don't watch him anymore now.
Well, we watched Rock.
When he tried to do Edge of, End of Days, and he's like John Piercing, or whatever his dumb name is in the...
Well, his last, the last one they did with Terminator did well overseas, not necessarily here.
No, but that's the thing. When he had to get back to a property that would do something, because he did a couple of movies, and it's just like,
Right.
we've
The
had
Rock-
it with him.
The Rock has done a bunch of movies that you're like, ugh.
Well, no, now people nobody looks at that now. They look like he's a big success,
Right,
even
but
though he
that's it.
did
Everybody has
the
their run.
Tooth
Will Smith
Fairy.
had
He
his
did
run.
the Tooth Fairy.
So look, end of the day, I say go out and watch it. You know, it has a very strong world that's been built. They're following the rules. The characters are enjoyable, and the story, of course, as well. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
So PD and I are in agreement. Okay. Once for the whole day. Shocker. Okay. Spin a rack.
Out.
Out.